Hi, hello, hello, hi, and welcome to All Our Hearts and Minds. Thank you again for tuning in. We're here to discuss all things that have been on our hearts and minds, the good, the bad, the concerning, and uplifting, or just straight talk. We're your hosts, Kimmy, our passionate heart,
Yeah, yeah.
and then there's me, Jeanette, our mind and chronic overthinker. Let's get into it.
Yes.
All right. So back with a new episode. Um and so this week what big is going on this week? Well, there's been actually a lot of big things going on around the
Right?
world around the world, but just trying to figure if there's any major holidays. No. We're gonna coming up on to a long weekend in a couple weeks, but it's still regular.
Caravana
Oh,
weekend.
that's what's
It's
coming up,
coming.
Caravana. We need to have a Caravana episode next time. Again,
Yes. That
we'll
would be
do some
fun.
a Caravana episode next time. All right. So, before we get into the episode, thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Remember to comment and rate our podcast wherever you listen to it. Our socials and our email is in the show description, so feel free to reach out with any comments or questions. So thanks again for tuning in, and we're happy
Yeah.
that you're here. So, of course, we're going to start with our checkup. So, Kim, how was your week? How are you doing?
Pretty good. I can't complain. I took some time off.
Mm.
Yes. My daughter, she turned 11. I
Whoop,
cannot
whoop.
believe that. Yes, big girl. So, that was over the past last weekend. And so, we were up in Ottawa, just a girls' trip. It was fun spending some time with her and celebrating her, coming into the world. She's my one and only child, and so I kind of spoiled her a little bit,
Of
but
course.
we had a good time. And so I didn't really work much this week. I did work on, the ending of the week, Thursday and
Mhm.
Friday, which kind of sucked, but whatever. Yeah, and so I can't complain. It was nice taking just a little, just a
Get out
little
of this
time
time. Get out of the city for a little bit.
yeah, just a little bit, and enjoying my daughter again,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
spending some time with her. We went swimming, we went to the art gallery,
Ooh.
yeah, right? And went to Parliament, went to the market, went to the mall cuz she is 11. So we have to find the mall. So but it was good nonetheless. But how was your week? How was everything?
My week was pretty good. It was quiet, so I can't complain. I went to a I went back to I usually was go to like this class when I do go to classes for fitness at Good Life. That's
Right.
it's my local gym here. I do this yoga fusion class, and it's called body fusion. Sorry, body balance, but I just call it yoga. It's not really traditional yoga, but I just call
Right.
it yoga class.
Right. Right.
So I went on Monday and I went today. It felt good. I'm just trying to get my body more in tuned and um getting movement and flowing again.
Mhm.
I actually do want to kind of do go in and do a little bit do some weight stuff, do something more intense, but I was like, you know what? I haven't been working out for months.
Mhm.
I need to ease into it, and this is a perfect way to ease into it. It's really relaxing. I had actually a really good
Mhm.
instructor today. I don't normally the location I went to is I normally go by my area, but I actually went up to the one at where is it? Victoria Park in Lawrence. They have one there, and the instructor is a black woman. She was
Okay.
really good. Like this normally the way Good Life does it, it took me some getting used to. I don't know
Mhm.
if it's just how it is with a lot of franchise gyms, but the way the classes are, it's very like come in, set up, and get going. Like you don't know Lele time. Like that's usually how it
Right.
is. It was really something I had to get adjusted to when I started going to classes there.
Mhm. Mhm.
But this girl, she reads out the names for the people who signed up. She greets them. She did everything. I was like, what? This
Oh,
girl's good.
okay.
She's very descriptive with the movement. So yeah, I might even though that's not my home location, I might go there on Saturdays. Really, I enjoyed
Okay.
her.
Check her
Um, s-
out. Mhm.
yeah, I think her name was Layla. I don't know, something with an L. I think Layla.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was good. So feeling good about that. Beautiful day. I got some topsoil. I wanna, even though it's late, I still want to add some flowers to my balcony. I've been putting it off. I've been putting it off, and I'm like, I just want some flowers on my balcony. So I'm gonna buy
Mhm.
some tomorrow and just get my little
Mhm.
balcony garden going. And second, oh, update. My neighbor's got a cat. Did I tell you this?
Oh no, really? You didn't tell me. Not oh no, no, but you
No,
have not told me.
I didn't tell you. No. So a couple weeks ago, I was just here. Like, I don't have a roommate here anymore. So I lounge in my living room a lot more than I used to when I have a roommate, right? And I was just sitting there, and on my balcony, I have a door, and my blinds, my bottom blinds are kind of lifted up, so I can kind of see the ground on my balcony. And it was
Mhm.
it was dark, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Is that I saw like is that a animal on my balcony?" I'm on the seventh floor. Like, it's not like I'm on the first floor. There shouldn't be any
Mm.
animal that I'm aware of that should be on my balcony. And I'm looking. I'm like, "Yeah, that's." I'm like, "That's a cat." I go closer because I could tell it has dark fur, but how I could tell is it has a white. You know, when cats have that whiteness in their face around the nose
Right.
area.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So the mouth and nose has white fur. So I was like, "Oh, that is definitely a cat." And I heard my neighbor across from me look like they were taking out their garbage. I was like, "Let me hurry up and pretend like I'm taking out the garbage and ask," because I was scared. I was like, "How the hell did a cat just drop on my balcony?" Like, I
Mm-mm.
was like, "Where the hell did this thing come from? Am I gonna have to deal with a cat right now?" Like, I don't want to even deal with
Jeez.
this. I don't want to leave him on the balcony if he dropped or something, right?
Mhm.
So then I go and I ask my neighbor. They're I think they're Chinese, and
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh, did you guys get a cat?" She said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I got a cat." I'm like, "When? Oh, this is the first I'm seeing it. When? How long? When did you get the cat?" She said,
Mm-mm.
one week ago." And I was like,
Okay.
"Okay, okay," because I would know if they had the cat, right? Obviously, I live here, and I tend to, like, when I'm cooking, sometimes I just like to get air. I open my door,
Mhm. Yeah.
so it's a good thing that never happened. Imagine he came in as well. I'm bringing up this story because the cat looks like he's dying to come here, okay? And it doesn't. He's dying to get in this house. I don't know why. My in-law was like, "Oh, maybe he saw you eating food." Not one time. I think maybe one time. The times I
Mm-mm.
see him here at the door, I don't have food. I don't know. I think his previous owner, was black because it's not a kitten. It's like it looks like a cat that's at least
Yeah.
a year or two. It's definitely like a full, like it's grown. Like it's not a kitten. And so they probably, I don't know if they got it from somebody or if they got it from what do you call
Or
those
maybe
shelter?
they're sitting. Maybe they're cat sitting.
Maybe, I don't
Or
know.
is it
Maybe
theirs? Like,
that the way she said it, I'm assuming it's theirs.
yeah, it's
She made it
theirs.
seem like it's recent, but it's theirs because if
Uh-huh.
she said she was babysitting, she's like, "Oh, just I would feel she'd be like, "Oh, just a short time." I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. Just I got scared because I just saw him and I was like, I didn't know where he came from." She just laughed.
Right? The
I was
hell
like,
did this
"Lad,
cat come
where?"
from?
I was like, "What?" And I just had to stare upon me, and he's staring at me like. And sometimes if I got up in the morning because my bed, I'll look out and he's there, and because he hears me moving around. I'm like, "Listen, buddy, this is not your home."
Right? And don't try to come over here neither, okay? You need
Yeah,
to
like,
stay
I
over
mean,
there with your parents over there. Stay over there.
yeah, and you know, because the balconies always have some kind of, even though there's dividers and stuff, it's
Yeah, well,
still,
cats will get around it. Yeah.
they can get through it, right? So that it's
That's a
like,
real that cat's real brave, so high up, like to be
he
going around balconies and stuff. Oh wow.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you're not close to the ground.
No, he's just over here like he is living his best life. I haven't gone out since, but when I do my garden, I'm gonna meet him tomorrow when I work on my little balcony garden. So, but I
Nice.
won't. But one thing, I won't give him no food or nothing because
No, because that's how they'll stay, girl.
he already thinks he's supposed to be in here from what I can
Right?
tell.
Like he's the
Trust
king
me.
of the castle already. No.
He's like at the door like, "Bitch, open the door." Like,
Right? What you
"Hello, I'm
doing?
home."
You don't know what we're doing.
But he's a cutie. He or she, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm good. So we'll start with the headlines. We don't have a lot because we're gonna be talking about worldly things in our workout. So we just gonna keep it light in the headlines
Try to
today.
keep it a little, cause my God, what is? Sorry, excuse me. My goodness, what is going on in this political world? I don't know what's going on. I
Ooh,
don't know, but yes, let's try to keep it light for the rest because this is heavy. This is gonna be
yeah.
heavy. Yeah. Some heavy lifting
So
people. So I'm telling you. Ooh. Mm-hmm.
so first, we last episode we were talking about something local that was going on here, where our main stores to buy alcohol were shut down because of a strike. And like we said, or assumed, like we knew that they had estimated the strike not to go more than 2 weeks, and as they estimated, within 2 weeks they came to an agreement, and the stores, our LCBO or alcohol stores, were open. But it's interesting because Doug Ford came out and said a comment that is interesting, where he said that, you know, I don't know, he made it seem like the people were a little bit more mad than I think they really were. People were still, he said, people were still able to get their alcohol. I knew this, but it just confirmed it. Um, if there's anything, mess with anyone, but don't mess around with people's booze in Ontario because they aren't because they aren't too happy. I'm like, well, maybe for you, Doug. But anyway, yeah, people like
Well,
we
listen, Doug, let's not,
yeah.
throw any stones. I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but your brother wasn't exactly, you know, the ideal sober man. Like, come on, like don't you know what I mean? Like don't be judgy up in here. Like don't be
Yeah.
judgy. It's not so much the alcohol. I think it's more the fact of the right to have the
Yeah.
option of getting
Yeah,
the alcohol, right?
alcohol. But he was right because what his brother and he himself have continued with having alcohol being sold in grocery stores and stuff like that outside of the LCBO is like, yeah, people are still able to get alcohol. But I will say the Metro by me was clean the f out. It
Right?
was empty. I don't know if you noticed that, but my Metro, the wine and the coolers and the beer section,
Well, the local
completely
Walmart,
empty.
the
Okay,
local Walmart was looking kind of bare. I was like, brethren, like they're cleaning out the Walmart aisle, like really?
I was
Because
at first I was
Walmart
like,
has beer up here, right?
"Mhm,
So,
yeah,
yeah, I was like, it's looking kind of skimpy over there, like you know, the
yeah.
toilet
I
paper.
was like,
Aisle.
at first I was like, I was like, are they cleaning out the shelves? And then it finally clicked. I was like, oh, maybe because of the strike, people either bought it or are they in solidarity? I don't think they're in solidarity. I actually think they ran out of stock, which is crazy.
I think
'Cause,
so too, because I think a lot of people were kind of worried that
yeah, like how
it
long is
might,
this going?
yeah, it might go longer, and because it was up in the air. But you know what I was saying to you yesterday was that what I find interesting about this is how it's going to play out. Like, okay, yes, they've come to, a
Yeah.
resolution, but
Mhm,
the inevitable is that they are going to roll this out, whether they like it or not.
mhm.
And I think, they've paid them a little bit extra so
Yes.
that it can kind of compensate for the inevitable, which
Yeah,
is,
so that was what I was gonna follow
yeah,
up with. Is that okay? So this is the deal they came to. So I found out the details because I'm like, okay, how did they resolve this?
right.
Pretty quickly, I would say, for considering it's a strike. So so LCBO published the details of their agreement, and so it's going to be, which includes 8% wage increase over 3 years, which was what we were talking about. But
That is so damn funny. You're willing to increase them that much, but when nurses
hmm,
and doctors and medical staff, you didn't want to do more than 1%.
well,
Anyway, sorry, it just blows my mind where you're willing to put your money. But
yeah.
okay, yeah,
And this is the more the important one, the conversion of about the conversion of about 1,000 casual employees to permanent part-time positions, which is good. And this is the most important one for the issue that I think what we discussed, I think, started the strike, is no store closures over the course of the agreement. Which is not really, if you really think about it, if I was an employee, this is very scratch the surface. It's something substantial, but it's scratch the surface because the course of their agreement is 3 years. I didn't think the stores were going to be shutting down in 3 years anyway. So it's almost kind of
no,
like a fake consolation. It's like, okay, you guys just want this for 3 years? Okay.
right?
We weren't
But
closing the stores in 3 years anyway. Like,
exactly, like we're planning on. That's why I'm saying this is gonna happen regardless. So they
Mhm,
got paid For,
Mm-hmm.
here's your, condolence prize. Like, here's an extra, couple $100 on your
Yeah.
paycheck. Like, that's what it will pretty much amount to. Like, because even though they're going to pay them more, when you get paid more, you get taxed more. So either which way, the money's going to go right back into the government's hands. So, I mean, I'm not even going to get into the, economics behind it, but I for me, I want to see how this is going to all pan out. And I think it would be nice if the government did think of these jobs that would be lost and maybe find a happy medium.
Yeah.
Hard liquor, you have to go to the LCBO, and not so hard liquor, 20 and below, you could get everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fair compromise, because then you're still, because here's the thing is that if all these people are unemployed, then the unemployment rate will go up.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Maybe, hopefully, I really hope that they find a compromise and that there's not as many stores as they're predicting
Mm-hmm.
closing, because they will close.
Mm-hmm.
If people can get it everywhere, why go to the LCBO?
Yeah. So we'll see. All right. So, people can go to get their liquor again in a convenient place and where they know to get
Yes.
it. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
and they better do it just in time for Caravana.
Yeah,
I'm telling you
summertime
that.
and two long weekends. Yeah, we have this August long weekend coming up and we have Labor Day. Like, listen, that would have been a problem.
Right? A problem. That's why people are going over to the Walmart and picking up the beer. But anyhow, hopefully that pans out to be fair long
Mhm.
term, you know.
Yeah,
But
so next we'll go to all right, social media. This was like a little fodder, social media fodder that came up, but we thought we'd bring up is Brittany Griner, the WNBA star, recently
the same
well,
one that we exchanged for an arms dealer, her.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
an
U.S.
arms dealer. Yeah.
She recently, her and her wife recently welcomed a baby boy, I believe, and the internet, which is obviously, great news and everything. So she was doing an interview, and the interview said, oh, was congratulating and asked about, how she feels about being a new mom, which is
Right.
a very typical question to a woman who has a child, whether she's gay or not. It's your right, your mother, right? If
Yeah.
there's just two instead of one, right?
Right.
um, and so, I think the internet had a little caused a little ripple because she said that her reaction to that question was her follow up was pops, pops. She said she corrected her the interviewer to refer to herself as Pops, as in the father.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so she says in that statement, I'm super excited. I'm super excited. Well, I guess I'll just drop it. He is here. That's my man. He's amazing. They say as soon as you see him, everything that you thought mattered just goes out the window. And that's literally what happens. Typical, yeah, I think that's typical response of new parent, except the gendering. And so I think this started everything because we're like, is doesn't she identify as a woman? As I don't know how to. I'm not trying to be offensive, but
Mhm.
she when she her voice is very much doesn't have a lot of estrogen in it. Let's put it that way. I don't know how to say this. She has a very manly sounding voice, and that's not anything. That your voice is your voice. I think she's come out and said she was teased and everything, and kids are cruel or whatever, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But I think, and if that's how she had, but this is the first time she's always asserted that I'm, even though I look like this and I have like what people traditionally consider as masculine features, I do consider myself a woman. Like I looked this up and she does consider herself, well, previously she did. I don't know what's going on with her now. If is there some type of gender
Ugh.
transition supposed to be happening? I don't know, but I've always known even though she may not traditionally be very feminine, that she identifies as a woman. So if you're saying that your child should refer to you as a father, then what are we really saying here?
Well, you see, that's the thing, right? Is that I too don't want to offend anybody, and that's so far from where I'm going with this. But I feel like the gender roles should be clearly defined if you are in the community of the LGBTQA plus. I feel
Yes.
like it should be clearly defined and you stick with it.
Mm.
So, like in this case, you're being wishy washy. So, I don't know if you identify as a man or as a woman. So, I'm going to look at you and say, well, okay, you might be transitioning, you might be this, but unless you clearly define to me what it is that you identify as, I'm going to say that you're a mom.
Yeah, the interviewer wasn't wrong. I do,
She
but
wasn't wrong, but she quick fast and in a hurry wanted to correct her. And
yes,
it's
it was a
like
little jarring.
yeah, it was. And for me it was like she was kind about it, like she
Hmm.
wasn't rude to the interviewer when she
But she was
corrected her.
very stern about it too.
Very stern,
Mm.
almost like heifer, you should have done known kind of thing. And it's like that's what I felt,
Mm.
and I'm not even there. You know what I'm saying? I felt that through the damn TV. Like it's like, what the hell? Calm down. uh what you want me to say? Like, not only that, but I don't know who's taken on a role when you have same-sex marriages. Who has decided to be the mom and who has decided to be the dad? I don't know that off the rip. I don't know that. So I think it's she could have been a little kinder about it. She wasn't nasty. She
No.
was firm, which I can appreciate. However, you act like I should know this. Like, you act as though
Yeah,
I
this is the
was
first we're hearing this.
yeah, like I was in the family meeting with you when you and your wife decided who's the dad and who's the mom. Like, or is there two moms? Like, that's a
Usually it's just two
conversation
moms.
that I wouldn't be privy to. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
know that. So,
yeah.
pipe down, Brittany. Pipe down. Like there was a little edge to what how you were a little edge to it. And it's like the
Yeah,
girl
like,
is just calling it what she thinks it is.
yeah.
And
You are in the WNBA.
I don't know. Like,
You have never, as you know, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if you did, but you have never came out and said you're non-binary or you're
okay, so how am I
which.
to know?
Oh well. Anyway, that was interesting. I mean, regardless, congrats to her. I think it's very, like, again, these are conversations she's never really talked about it, so I can't say much outside of that it was a little bit jarring to hear, and a little bit interesting. I don't know how that's gonna work, but you know what? That's their family,
That's
and they're
that's
gonna.
the thing. I wasn't there on the family meeting. Like, I have no idea what what you are, who you are, what you are. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know none of that. And you know what? Congratulations to you and your wife. I hope you raise this bundle of joy in a home full of love. That's
Yeah,
all I
that's
can
it.
say about
That's
that.
it. That's it. All right. So, okay, big and juicy. I'm excited. It's Olympic time.
Yes. Big,
Wow.
big Olympics going on.
Big, big one.
Yes.
I growing up always loved it, and it was like, oh, I'd love to be one of those people. But now it's just I like to see the stories, see the
Mm-hmm.
athletes, like, see the new sports. Like, we have breakdancing as a new sport, like, interestingly enough. I don't know, they're just adding random sports, but I think that's going to be interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're here. The opening ceremony happened a day before we were recording, and I saw some clips. I'm going to tell you
Mm-hmm.
right now, there's a lot, there's a few things I want to call out, but Miss Celine
Yes.
Marie Claudette Dion,
Yes.
God
Miss
has blessed
Celine
you.
Dion.
Her
Mm-hmm.
voice is like the fact that I don't know if we talked about this when she got diagnosed with that stiff syndrome or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She canceled her world tour.
I
It was
know.
it was seeming like her life quality of life was going to be severely affected.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
aside from
Yeah.
not being able to sing, which has been her whole life, but to, like, other things as well, it seemed. And I've only seen she has a documentary on Prime. I haven't watched it yet because I thought it'd be kind of like, but like, now that I see the happy ending, I feel like I can go and watch it now, because knowing
Right?
that she actually did sing again. And not only
Right.
did she sing again, she closed out the
Yeah.
opening ceremony of the Olympics in Paris, France, singing on top of the bloody Eiffel Tower.
You
And it
see
was
it?
very beautiful, very, very beautiful. She sang a song by a French, classic French singer by the name of Edith Piaf. And I think
Okay.
it's the song was called I think it's Lim d'Amour, which is meaning the song of love or something like that. And it was gorgeous. I didn't understand everything, but I was just
Hmm.
like blown away. It was gorgeous. I personally felt I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna just say it. The opening ceremony was kind of lackluster
I
for
know.
me.
Womp
I'm
womp.
It
Yeah, I
was a
know.
little. I'm just gonna have to say it only because coming off of, hey, everyone, not everyone's gonna knock it out of the park, and I think they said they spent 9 billion
My
on
gosh.
I think I don't know if it's 9 billion on everything. I can't just be the opening ceremony, so I'm going to assume the 9 billion is how setting everything up for the Olympics. And they said
Hmm.
that was the lowest cost in terms of setting up an Olympic situation in a city in a long time. So people use the word cheap. I'm not going to use the word cheap. I mean, they found some ways to do it cheaper than some of the other places. Let's just put it,
Right.
or less costing less than the other places. And but I'll definitely say the opening ceremony did leave something to be desired, because I'm just thinking back to I'm thinking back. I'm not even Tokyo. I'm not even counting Tokyo because Tokyo was COVID, but Brazil and China were the last. No, it was it Brazil, London, and China. Well, the China one is the one that stands out. I'm not. We're not gonna front here in Beijing, like
Hmm.
2008. That was crazy, and the Rio Olympics is also a crazy opening. So
Hmm.
they came out on the river in boats, which was unique. The athlete,
Yeah.
it was unique.
Thank God they
And
had Celine Dion.
this
That's
is
what I'm gonna
listen.
say.
Let me just say that close and how they lit the flame was actually unique. Lady Gaga was there. I don't know why, but hey, why not? And that's pretty much all I can say about the opening. I that's Serena was there. I like they had a lot of elite athletes, not necessarily just French athletes, which was cool. And I think I'll leave it there in terms of the opening ceremony.
Yeah, it lackluster for real, for
And
real.
it rained. I don't know if it also rained, so I know it's tough.
Hmm. And a lot
Yeah.
of it was outside.
Yeah, it
Like a
was
lot
most
of
of it
it,
was open. It was all outside pretty much. Yeah, that
Yeah,
too.
pretty
And it
much.
rained all day. So that like the fact that it probably put a little damper, but it happened. Yeah, and so the
It's
Olympics
nice
are
to
here.
see Celine Dion up again and performing, and she's better than she was, which is so nice to see. I didn't really understand too much of the performance, but I can understand a beautiful voice, and she has one,
She sounded
definitely.
as good as ever. Yeah. Considering what she was diagnosed with, that's a miracle. Okay, so what are you oh, there's some drama with Team Canada. Oh boy.
Yeah, already the drama
Team
starts.
Canada's soccer team um was caught supposedly spying
With
on.
drones, of all
Yeah,
things.
at
Like, come
first I was
on,
like
man.
what do they what constitutes as spying, because just if you're on the field and you're just another team is there, that doesn't mean you're spying, until I found out yes, to your point, there was drones involved. When I heard there was drones involved, I was like, Canada, come on now.
Right? I was like, really? That's so
um
cheating. That's such bad cheating. This horrible sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's horrible. And what are you gonna achieve? Like, and another thing is like, what do you achieve by watching the practice that you don't get? Like, all teams normally, what do they do? Watch tapes. If there's a team that they're trying to assess and like they're getting prepared to play, they just watch the tapes of the team playing like a normal people. What are we using drones to practice? There's nothing that you're gonna see in practice that you haven't probably seen them do on a field. I don't know, because you're not making secret plays out of nowhere that are on the day before, a couple of days before a game. They're going to be plays that they've done before, so it all just doesn't make even sense to even do that in the first place. And the more the less get caught, and then it's so sneaky and conniving with drones. It's like it's kind of icky. So they
Real
have.
icky. And you know what? To be
Mhm.
quite honest, we're not really known to be that.
Yeah, I'm like, Canadians, come
As
on, like
Canadians, like, we
that's some
go to
Russian
the
shit.
Olympics, right? We go to the Olympics and we're usually the ones that try really hard. We come away with a few medals, but like to hear that they're trying to cheat with the damn drones. I'm like, what were you expecting to see? If you're in the same like arena, like you really expect them to show you their private, like their secret moves or their secret plays. Like, are you really expecting them to let that out right then? No. I think they could practice certain parts of their special moves or tactics,
Yeah.
but for the most part you're not going to get like a complete thought, like a complete play.
Mm,
You're just not. So I think that's such a waste. But Canada, why do we have to be on here like cheaters and stuff? Like, honestly, because
yeah.
to me that's cheating.
It is cheating. I think I
So
didn't know until like when a story first broke. I'm like, something got to be wrong here. But when I heard there was drones involved, I'm like, yeah, that's without a doubt. And so Canada has been deducted. It's Team Canada, the women's team, which is actually a gold winning team. So they're which again, you guys are one of the favorites to win. Why do you need to do this? Anyway, sorry. So they've
and now
Canada,
you're making people question your win.
right?
Like, that's
So
the thing. When you start doing
so if they do
stupid
win,
stuff like that,
it's gonna be tainted. Even if they do kind of come out
that's
on
the
top,
thing. It
it's
doesn't
gonna be
matter.
tainted.
You doing this and getting caught for it, everything has to be questioned. So now the judges, when they're judging things, they're going to be particularly hard. When the
Yeah,
referees they're going to be particularly hard because now they're looking to see if you're cheating, right? And so it's just all around stupid.
yeah, and it's crappy. So
It's so
Canada
stupid.
has been deducted 6 points
That's a
in the
lot.
women. Yeah, the women
That's a lot.
in specifically the women's soccer. And from FIFA, the soccer organize, the head of the organization of international soccer, whatever competition, has fined them 200,000 Swiss francs.
Jeez.
Three people from the coaching or the management team, Bev Priestman, Jasmine Mander, and Joe Lombardi, has been suspended from football activities for 1 year. They are
Hmm.
going to look to appeal, but that's just what it is now. I'm sure they can. But it's like you said, even the notion that the idea, like there was some proof. And so even
Hmm.
if it does get appealed, the taint is there. So a little bit sucky for Team Canada. But anything, that's one thing. Another thing is any other drama? Not that what sport are you excited to see?
Basketball. A hundred
Yes.
percent.
Tell the people why you're super excited about basketball.
Because my cousin is playing in the Olympics and I am so excited for him. He is doing really well so far. Team Canada
Mm-hmm.
won against Greece
Greece
today,
today.
actually.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
It was 89-72, if I'm correct.
Mm.
I know we got 89, and I
I
know
know we
Greece
won. I just know we
lost.
won.
That's all I know. They did lose, but you know what? Of all the Olympics, I prefer Summer Olympics
Yeah.
all the way around.
Yeah.
I am going to be tuning in for not just basketball, but for track and field.
Of
Um,
course. Of
I
course.
have to see what's popping. Like, who is the next, you know, fastest woman or
Mm.
fastest man.
Yes.
I can't wait to see track and field because Shakiri is gonna be all up in there, my girl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I can't wait to see. Not only that, but we have some people here from Canada, specifically Toronto. What's that guy? Oh, and he's from Markham. What's his name?
DeGrasse. Come on now, Andre DeGrasse.
Degrassi.
Because we went to school with his cousin,
That's I know. I always forget his last name for some reason.
Yeah,
But
I can't.
which I shouldn't, I know. But cuz he is very close. He's very close to maybe beating maybe Usain Bolt. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even want to say that. I don't. Want to say,
No,
you know
let's
what?
not get too crazy now.
No.
Let's. I mean,
Let's retract. Retract. Retract.
retract. Listen, he's actually very talented, and we do know him. He kind of burst on the scene with that photo, which is amazing. Like he's very.
Right.
So it's actually not absolutely insane that you said that, but
I think give him a couple years,
yeah, but
and
he's almost 30 now. Believe it or not.
right, right, right.
But
Yes,
what I'm
but
saying is
he's
he has a
good
lot
though.
of he's very talented. What I would say about Andre DeGrasse is that I love track, so I'm really into it. But what I would say about him is he's a natural talent. You say
Yeah.
natural, so he's like all natural. And I hate to say, I don't know if we had this debate, but I hate to say this Olympics, but I do feel a lot of the top people, they're doing a little something something.
Well, yeah, no.
I don't know. I'm gonna say that I want to say the elites. I think is I don't know, but maybe this is
I
too
don't know.
controversial. This is
I
too
don't know if they'd
controversial.
make it to the Olympics. I don't know if they'd make it to the Olympics. That's
So
the
I'm
that's the
gonna say,
thing.
here's what I'm gonna say. I just That's a little too controversial, so I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna say the grass is very naturally talented, and he trains in the U.S. He trains with the best people, and I still think he has it in him. He's had some injuries, so I think that's why he's kind of not as been like as
Hmm.
much as up there, like where you're like, oh yeah, Andre's definitely gonna be in the top three. But he
Well, that's why
generally,
I said if you were to give, like, if you were to last to the next Olympics, I think we would be really surprised to see
I think
because
it's
I think
possible.
he's still recovering from the injuries that he
Yes,
has
if
had.
he gets 100% healthy and has like a strong, like if the next Olympics is a serious 2 years of just healthy body and just committing and whatever, I think he's always like, hey, don't get me wrong, he's always a contender and he still always managed to medal. So he
Right?
ain't no.
I know, I know.
So I'm not trying to
It's
say
true.
that. I'm just saying that he's not a favorite to win. That's all I'm saying.
No, he's
And so
not. But I think he's also an underdog, and a lot of people
yes,
are looking at him.
yes, always.
I think
So
he
track
has
and
eyes on him.
field, we're excited about track and field. Team Jamaica, Team
Yes.
USA. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. Gymnastics. I'm excited about
Yes.
gymnastics. Of course,
Yes.
Miss Biles is back, and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the
In
whole
full effect.
in
Mm-hmm.
full effect. I can't wait to see her redeem herself
That's
after
right.
all that people were talking shit about her. She actually has a documentary on Netflix that I started to watch, which is pretty good. And also, there's a documentary on the track teams as well, as like features Team Jamaica and Team USA mostly. Um, Called Sprint on Netflix. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to get prepared for the Olympic showdown, I recommend watching that. And everything else, I'm into it all. I'm into most of it. So we'll be talking about that in our upcoming episodes. And we're gonna have a special segment when the track starts. The track meets.
Right?
All right,
Must.
we have to. So okay, so gonna get into our music news. Tory Lanez released a new song this week, and it was called Wish I Never Met You, and in parentheses, prison tapes. um and so the interesting, at first I'm like, oh, I listened to it, I'm not gonna front, okay? Tory Lanez makes music. He's like Drake. Like they make music you like to listen to. You want to go on, especially in the summer. You're gonna go into your car and you're like, I hate this guy, but you know what? This song, if I didn't know who it was, this is damn good. I enjoy it. It's a good listen. Let's put it that way. But now to the
Well, a lot of Tory Lane songs are like that. Like,
yes, yes, yeah.
they are a good listen. And what I've never said that he wasn't
No,
talented.
me, I don't think I have either. But
No,
just
I don't think any one of us have ever said that. But I think what
mm,
his problem is that he has short man syndrome. You know what I mean?
big time, big time.
And I think it overcame him, like for real, because it's a true syndrome out here. I'm not trying to make short jokes right now. I'm really trying to say, I think he felt like he had to overcompensate, especially being from Canada, especially, being a little shot man, and now he's here. But back to his song, I took a
Yeah.
listen. I was like, okay, Tori, from the
Mm-hmm.
prison.
from from the prison tapes. At first, because I was like, I wish I never met you. That sounds loaded. I was like, is this related to? I was like, it can't be related to Meg. He can't be. He couldn't be so bold. But then I went and looked at the lyrics on Rap Genius, and I was like, oh, maybe he is that bold. It says he has a lyric in here that says, he said, I think I wish I never met you. That goes without saying, but it says, anime, anime. We watched anime till we can't watch. I can't watch no more. It reminds me of you too much. And if there's one thing about the Megan the Stallion
Right?
brand
Who is
is
now popping with the big
with that
Japanese
with the
star.
big
Okay.
Japanese song there. I was like, Ninja.
Right?
Anyway, so
Right?
take that as you will, but you know what? He's released the song, whatever. We'll see how it goes. It is a good little listen. I'm not going to be going out of my way to listen to it, but it's vibesy. Let me put it that way.
And he
Um,
dropped it at a good time. It's a summer
it's a
type of
summer.
song, like it's
Yes.
a fast. It almost has like some sort of a Caribbean something
Oh,
in
for
the
sure.
back.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely has it. The beat is
yeah, the
definitely
beat has,
reggae-ish,
yeah, reggae-ish maybe.
dancehall-ish.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so he has a new song, and then another new song that came out from another Toronto legend is Drake. It's not Drake's song. He's actually featured on it. It's Little Yachty, called Super Soak, and Drake is on it. And I took a listen. For me, this is a song that Drake has done. Even though it's Little Yachty on this is a song Drake has done 50 times. Sorry. This is a song that you go into the Drake library. He has 50 songs that sound like this. So I was just like, not that's not it's not bad, but it's also not nothing exciting because Drake has done songs like this before. So
And it's like, I don't know. Drake, I don't know. I don't know. I think that you need to come hard with something, bro.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if you can or what you
I
the
feel like he
subject
is
could
tippy
be
toeing
about,
in.
but
Yeah, I think he is tippy toeing. I think he's doing a lot of features, like the songs that he is released. Music is coming out with Drake's name on it, but there are a lot of features, and he's tippy toeing, which I do think, honestly, all things considered, if he's going to release music, is probably smart.
right.
Drake, the ever strategic genius. I think if he's going to release music, it is best to go do it as a feature. To be honest,
Yes, yes, I agree.
which the last three songs I've heard from Drake that are new were features.
Because at this point you have to go hard if you're gonna go by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I think I now that I'm thinking about it, I actually think it's smart that he's doing it this way if he's going to release
Mm-hmm.
music. All right, so that is our new music news. So we'll go ahead and jump into our
You think
first
Drake is done?
no, me personally, no.
No, but
People want.
him as an artist on his own.
Nope. I do not. I do not believe that. Some people want. I feel like people want it, or they're trying to like get that message out there. Personally, no, absolutely not. Don't see evidence of that. Don't
Okay.
see evidence of that at all.
Okay. Okay. Well, Drake, I
And you know
think you
what?
need to come with something hard. You need to
We won't.
regroup and come with something hard.
Yeah, we won't really know until he actually, like, to your point, comes hard, like comes solo hard with some, like, he's like, shit, I'm back. You
Right?
know, I can't, but we won't really know until that happens. But me personally, like people thinking, like, talk about his career, like the fodder conversation on his career being over. I am definitely don't believe that. I don't see evidence of that. I don't even see how that's possible. But I could be proved wrong. So until he comes out real on his own with some music,
Well,
I
that's
could.
what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for
Mm,
him to come out with something solo by himself, something hard, okay,
mhm,
something anticipated.
mhm.
And if it sucks, then I'll kind of know
Exactly, and
the
not
answer
only if
to
it
that.
sucks, not only it sucks because I think has a formula. So generally, he's
Yeah,
gonna
but just
always
like
have
Tyler
some.
Perry, the formula gets stale.
And into our next form and into our next. That's a good.
That
That's
just
a good little segue there. That's a good little segue. I'm gonna leave that alone and say, and we're gonna segue into our next segment, which is Wagwan for real.
popcorn for real.
And in Wagwan for real, this is our segment where we look at stories that just don't add up. They don't make sense. We see them, we hear them, and we have to ask a question. What Tagwan for real?
For real.
And in this segment, as Kim led us to, we're going to be talking about Tyler Perry's new movie and all the conversation around it. Divorce in the Black. And every time Tyler releases a new title, social media, at least black social media, is always going to be like, "Oh Lord, what are we going to get here now?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna start the typical Tyler Perry fodder of, "Oh God, it's going to be typical, black
Here's the
woman,
black man's plight.
black
Here's the
black
black woman's
trauma,
plight. Here's the
black woman trauma."
trauma.
All so the themes, these
I,
consistent
I
themes that have
just.
no depth and no type of variation and stuff like that. And so quickly, when it was released on Prime, social media commentators, blogs, even the traditional movie reviews like Rotten Tomato, if you know,
Mm-hmm.
the only movie to get 0% from critics on Rotten
Right?
Tomato was Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black.
Wow.
And so pretty much, again, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I did not watch it. I had no interest in watching it for all the reasons we just touched on. In that, I know it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. He will cast really solid actors,
Right?
and it doesn't matter. I don't care who's in it. It's gonna be bad. Okay, he hasn't made a good movie in a long
Long
time.
time. Long
And
time.
the movies of his that I consider good, I found out when I looked deeper, they weren't written by him. So it's like,
Oh. Well, look
um,
at that.
look at that. And so, but I've read and I've watched a lot of reviews on YouTube, and I feel like I know enough of the plot. I know enough of what's going on in the performances and the story where I'm like, yeah, I was right not to watch it. And yes, we are still right to criticize him for this trash.
Yeah.
And so what's funny though is, okay, so I'll just go pretty much, you know what? Let me even do him justice. I'm gonna even go on the IMDb and
Hmm.
be respectful and describe it how his production company wanted it. Described.
Boring.
It's gonna be
Wait
it's
till
gonna
you
be,
hear it.
oh my
Oh my
God, serious.
gosh.
It's one line. That's enough. That's see if you did if you weren't sure, it's one line. Ava's husband Dallas leaves her heartbroken as he abandons their marriage. That's it. That's the
What
description.
did you? Like,
It,
boring.
right? You can't even say hint at why he's leaving. Anyway, um and the scene, this is the big thing that everybody's talking about. The opening scene that everybody has clips of everything is so there's a funeral happening in the beginning of the movie, and
Here we go again with his. He's
right,
done funeral things before. Go on.
we start the movie with a funeral, and they're the couple, which is, I must mention it stars Megan Good, Corey Hardick, and also Beyonce's mom's ex-husband is in the movie as well. He plays Megan Good's father, Richard Lawson. Anyway, in that opening scene, Richard Lawson is doing a sermon at this funeral, and the funeral is a brother of Corey Hardick's character, who's Megan Good's husband. And he's here saying all these things, and then he starts criticizing the family, the man in the casket, and the family. And and the all this kerfuffle happens, and the woman finally gets up and then says, "All you do is insulted us, and you never helped us, and I don't even want anything that you've ever given to help us." And she rips off her dress,
Oh
Okay,
my gosh.
and she's in her blouse, and they take the body, the brothers, Corey Hardick and his brothers, there's two other brothers. She's like, I don't want help from any of these people, and we're gonna bury our son or our brother by ourselves. They literally take the dead body from the casket and put it in their truck. Like, that's alone, like that, this is how the movie starts.
My gosh.
This is how the movie starts, everybody. So I didn't watch it, but one I've seen clips of this, and that's the scene that everybody's like, this movie is a joke. Anyway, who cares about that? So now we people are criticizing that the story doesn't have any depth, the characters have
It's
no
dry.
range.
It's stupid. Like there could
Mhm.
have been
And on
so
top
much
of
more
that,
done.
the acting is not great, but I don't think it's because of actors. I can't rate, I'm not gonna say these are solid actors. We've seen these actors in movies and shows where we know they're not bad actors. They may not be amazing. They may not be Viola Davis, but they're also not trash. So I'm going to blame the writing. I'm not going to even go in on the actors because they didn't have anything to work with in the first place.
I'm not talking about the actors either. I'm talking
Mm.
about the content. The content of like the theme, the content, the story, like the beginning of the story. Like really, we're
Yeah.
back at a funeral. Um I just feel like Tyler Perry needs other writers.
Yeah,
He
and
needs
pretty much
new innovative ways of
that's
looking
pretty much
at
the
the black
general
struggle.
that's the
Because
consensus.
Tyler Perry has also found his shtick,
Mm.
and that is the black struggle, and all that is. And I find he doesn't want to stray from it. I mean, I can understand why. I mean, you're a billionaire off of the stick. You know what I mean? You have your own studio. You made it right off of this whole plot that you have in various movies, and I feel like there's a new innovative way that he could probably do that, but he would need somebody to help him. Um, Tyler Perry, this is sad. This is sad because this was done on your own studio as a black man. And this type of movie, I don't know why you won't relinquish some of that power and give some writers a chance. But it's
It's
you
very
I think you
selfish.
should. I think you should because your legacy, is being tarnished, and I'll be honest, black people are tired of it.
Because I'm actually gonna. Lonnie Love had a tweet that I think is really hitting the nail on the head, and I think this is what it really comes down to, which I'm really why I'm actually upset with him. It's actually not funny anymore. Before we like to laugh, go on sort of
Right?
create
Mhm.
memes and all this, but now it's not funny anymore
What
because
Lonnie Love put it in perspective. Oh
of
boy.
yeah, of all people. So she said, she tweeted, I love that Tyler Perry is paying back black actors, is playing black act. Sorry, she doesn't have any punctuation here. I love that Tyler Perry is paying black actors. Now I wish he would hire black writers and directors that have experience to help him with his movies. He could improve the movies and make them award worthy if he would stop trying to save money by doing the writing and directing himself. That's it. That's all it comes down to. With all the conversation, everything we're bitch, he wants to call us be bitching and high what do you call this highbrow Negroes? Because
Mm.
because Kiki Palmer interviewed him on her podcast and asked him about the criticism, and his response was very like, what, which I'll go to in a second. But that's what it all comes down to. You have Tyler, you did it, man. You took your empire from plays to shows to movies to owning your own bloody studio. You are a billionaire. There is no reason in the world why a billionaire
Right?
is writing and directing everything that is produced through his studio.
I
Most
can
billion
understand the directing part, but I think like
the
in
right
collaboration with a writer. Like,
Yes, yes, I can give it like that's fine. Like he's not a great director either, but that's like the least of the problems.
that's
Because anybody, well, you know what I mean. Like if the script is good, the
and
director
I
doesn't
will
have as
say the
much work.
quality of work is good too. Like the
Yeah, the
quality that
production quality is
yeah, the
generally
production
good.
quality that he puts out is good too. I
Ju-
just think that the content of the actual movie or the play, like we need to elevate or we need to talk about the struggle in a different way. I don't know. But I think black people don't want to hear about the struggle anymore.
and he
You
doesn't
know?
do it, but the thing is he doesn't, he's not doing it in a creative way, he's not doing it in a compelling way, he doesn't have any depth, no nuance, it's just black and white. And it's like that's not how humans are, it's nuanced, every human is nuanced in the gray area. And even having the ability, he does not have the ability to do that, and that's where the writer a quality writer would really help step up his
Yeah.
content or whatever. And I think another thing is like, yes, you're paying black actors, but you're paying them to be really, you do have to pay them a lot of money because it's a shitty movie. Let me
Thank
tell you,
you.
if I'm a halfway decent actor,
I have to act the hell up out of this movie. What you mean? This shit
and I'm gonna
sucks.
be and I'm gonna be in a movie that
Like,
people
come
and I'm
on.
gonna be in a movie that people say, I know people are gonna say is trash. Yeah, you need to compensate me for that loss. Like
Definitely, I'm
you
putting
need to
my name on the line. Like, what the
yeah.
hell?
So yes, you better be
But what
paying me well.
my whole wagwan for real is, Mr. Tyler Perry, you don't remember the people that got you to where you are.
Mm.
But what did he say? What was his comments about? What is it? Uppity.
Well,
Um,
I keep on saying uppity, but he actually used the word, I think, highbrow Negro.
oh, highbrow Negro. Yeah, that same highbrow Negro got you to the billionaire status you're at. Have you forgotten? Excuse me. Have you forgotten Mr. Tyler Perry? What's so fascinating is the struggle of the life of a black person you've monopolized off of, and then you want to turn around and now judge people who don't like your work. Well, I think you should take that if you're a true leader.
Yeah,
Excuse me. You should take that as a way to improve instead of
yeah, and
making comments like that.
his
Those are the same
criticism.
people who you're going to ask to come to your stupid ass plays and to watch your stupid movies.
Yeah,
So I think you should scale back on that, Mr. Tyler Perry.
yeah,
Um, and to be quite honest, he got where he was in a dress,
that too. Yeah,
just calling it what it is. And so
and
maybe, he had to hide behind a dress to get to where he is now.
well,
Because maybe the
regardless,
man is not so interesting.
he's here now, and he just needs to pay some writers. And so Kiki, just pay the writers. Stop being a cheapo, man. You're a billionaire. Stop this shit. Anyway, so
Yeah.
Kiki Palmer asked him about the criticism, and he is going into listen. Anytime you see a black person, especially being criticized and not taking accountability, what they're gonna do, they're gonna bring God into it, and God has nothing to do with your bad
Right?
decisions. Anyway, so she asked him. He's like, if you let somebody talk you out of the place that God has put you in, you're gonna find yourself in hell. It ain't that
Oh,
serious,
okay.
Seller. Okay.
Okay.
He goes on to say, I know for a fact that what I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, because for everyone who is a critic, I have thousands of what used to be emails from people saying, this changed my life. Oh my god, you know me. Oh my god, you saw me. How did you know this about my life and my family? That is what is important to me. He um he went on and said, a large portion of my fans are disenfranchised who cannot get into the Volvo and go to therapy on the weekends. So you've got this highbrow negro who is all up in the air with his nose up looking at everything. Then you got people like where I come from and me, who are grinders, who really know what it's like, whose mothers are caregivers for white kids and maids and so on and so on. And he ends it, who are you to be able to say which black story is important or should be told? Get out of here with that bullshit. And here's what I have to say. He felt like he ate. He felt like he ate with
Sure
that. But here
did.
here's where he's wrong, because we're not saying the story of black people who are disenfranchised is not worthy of being told. That is not what we're saying.
At
We're
all.
we're saying is add some nuance. They're more than just a battered woman. What did she do in school? Or you're more than just
Yeah.
the light skinned hero or the dark skinned guy
Or the
who's like,
stripper, or
or
the,
the
you
like,
know.
you have archetypes that have no nuance. You can literally do a build a story with your script. That's probably what you're doing. You just put a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of blocks and puzzles on a board, and you could shift them around. And here's your Tyler Perry script. Like, that's what we're saying. Add some nuance. We're not talking about the disenfranchised black person. We know there are different black people's stories, and some resonate with more or whatever. We're saying that there is such a thing as nuance, and you have none of it because you're writing 100 scripts back to back, and they're shit. I'm just
Right?
gonna say it. They're trash.
They're trash.
So
That's the
anyway,
thing. Yeah. And, with Tyler Perry in general, I think that that's not the approach that you should take as a leader. The
no, it's
same
very
people who you are
dismissive.
trying to entertain, those are the ones that are going to go sit their tail in a box in a movie theater for you. You know what I mean? Those are the people who are going to go to your shows. And so I think to have that nasty attitude is shows why you're at where you're at, and why your movies are not doing as well. And you can say whatever you want. Your movies need to do well after a while. Okay? They do. Because you need to keep on the lights at that big ass studio that you have, billionaire or
Mm,
not. You don't want to sink all of the money that you've gained for yourself back into the studio. The studio should pay for itself, to be quite honest. So, Tyler, I think your inability to take criticism from your prime demographic will show down the line. It will show whether you are successful or not in your upcoming movies. I just don't think this was the way to address it. I think, you know what? That's people's opinions. Maybe you could have looked into some of their suggestions before you just so nasty about it. I think that his nastiness about it makes it even worse, to be
mm.
quite honest. But you know what, Mr. Tyler? Mr. Tyler, this is billionaire problems for me.
Yeah, right.
But we's gonna move on. We are gonna move on into the
The
workouts.
workout.
Yes. And this is where we work out our hearts and exercise our mental fitness. We do deep dive discussions in issues and topics that are affecting us or our community. And so, one topic that we need to discuss is this whole US campaign. Now, I
Woo.
want to put a disclosure out there right off the rip.
Mhm.
We are Canadians.
Yes.
Okay. We are Canadians. And so, to an extent, our understanding of US politics, right, can be limited and can
Mm.
be from a perspective of not knowing or ignorance. At least I'm going to speak for myself on
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, um, we want to talk about this because even though it's US politics, it affects us here in Canada. Everything you do in the States affects us here in Canada.
The
We
world,
share a
really.
flipping border. Like, come on. Okay? It's going to affect us. And so, what has been happening over in the US with this presidential campaign, Lord God. Me not know what going over there, so. Me say, okay? Honestly, but it's in the air. This
Yeah, it's definitely
presidential
in the air,
candidacy, I
man.
don't know. It's something's in the air. But okay, so last episode we had breaking news of President Trump being, well, there was a lot of people say an assassination attempt, that he was shot at, that the bullet grazed his ear, but he's okay. Well,
Mhm.
on the other side now, okay, over here with Mr. Biden, Biden has said deuces. So
Mm.
earlier this week, Biden decided to drop out of the campaign.
Mhm.
And very surprising, because this hasn't happened to the US in a very long time. Very
Mhm.
long time. And so now they have Kamala Harris, which Sorry to say, there are not too many people out there that like her. Okay, I'm
Mm,
sorry, it's true. Hey, black woman or not, a lot,
mm,
they just don't like her. But anyhow, so Biden's out. A whole lot of things are happening with him. There's a lot of conspiracy talks around that situation right there, too. From what I'm hearing, he is not doing well in terms of his health, that he was diagnosed with COVID. This
mm-hmm.
is all hearsay. I'm not too sure. This is speculated. I don't know. It hasn't been truly confirmed yet. But he's not doing well. And so this was the reason why he decided to back out of the race. And so Kamala, Kamala's in. Now, there's a few things I have to say about this. First, why is everybody attacking this woman? Why is
You, kn-
like you
you
don't
knew it
like
was
her?
gonna
That's
happen.
one thing. That's one thing. Okay, there's a lot of people don't like her politics or whatever. That's great,
Mm.
but they're attacking her in ways that are just disgusting. They're going back to when she dated Montel Williams and
Yeah.
how many people she dated, how she's slept her way to the top, how she's done this, that, and the third. Okay, why is that? Why is this the attraction? Like, why are we trying to break her down? We already know the heifer's gonna lose. We
Mm.
already know this, and that's the point. The point is that she is gonna lose, and it's sad that they took her, and now she's the representative of the losing party. We know what's gonna happen, people. Trump
Mhm.
has been turned into the white Jesus coming to save all the white people in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Pretty much.
he has turned into that. So we know that even within black communities in the states, they shaking it off. They're riding with Trump more now than ever. Okay, so we know what direction this is going to turn. At least there's nobody else that could run at this point that would really, make a difference in terms
Yeah, it
of
doesn't
the
make a
polls,
difference. Nope. Nope.
right? And so, right. Well, so with that said, we know what the inevitable is that's coming, and unfortunately, Kamala is going to be the representation of the losing party.
Mm-hmm.
So let us discuss this now, because I understand in politics sometimes people get dirty and they attack their opponents and their personal lives and all of that stuff. But I find it very disturbing that they have gone so down deep into this woman's past life. They are clocking her uterus, they're clocking her damn vagina. Like, Jesus, everybody's up in this woman's crotches. Like, what? Like, listen, I don't understand what's going on here. What is going on here? Let's talk about what the hell is going on here for
So
real.
it is very. I'm actually even starting to pull away. Like certain, I mean, you and I have talked about this where we try and pull away from news because for
Mm-hmm.
your own personal well-being, I think
Yeah.
you have to. And yes,
Mental,
we can
mental, mental.
mental. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we can be in Canada and say every like I'm in Canada and I'm nervous. More or less,
Right?
I can imagine being American right now because I'd be
Right?
like very feel very what's the word uncomfortable. Because yeah, there's a lot. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say that the Democrats, I don't think they had much of a choice. Because in terms of because we're like Kamala, we know Americans aren't voting for Kamala. They're just
No.
I don't want to sound what's the word pessimistic. Anything's possible to the midnight hour. You know what I mean? At the end of the
That
day,
is true.
until it happens, just like we said with Drake, until we really get the thing in the market to really know, we're just speculating. But here's
Mm-hmm.
where my okay, so I'll just say I'm speculating it won't. Trump is going to win. That's my speculation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trump was I was already speculating Trump to win before he got the assassination attempt, before he got
Mm-hmm.
shot. But now after that, it's like pretty much for me that incident guaranteed it. Let's put it that
Right?
way. right? So no matter, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. I'm not even going to focus on the conspiracy theories. At the end of the day, Trump got shot, and
Period. You
and
know.
period, and that is pretty much guaranteeing him to get into the White House, as far as my what I can see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sentiments. And so then it makes you think. I think I've heard some people say that it was pretty much they had nothing to lose with Biden stepping down, because Biden wasn't going to win, wasn't likely to win anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So swapping Kamala in doesn't really change the outcome of what was going to happen. But what it does change, here's what it does change. It doesn't change the outcome of what I'm speculating for the actual who's going to win, but it
Mm-hmm.
does change the outcome of the energy in the Democratic Party.
That's right.
The Democrats, after that first, I mean, the Democrats were probably already concerned, but like
Mm-hmm.
when it was put on blast with the first debate with Trump and Biden, like we talked about, it was like, ooh, we look very bad right now.
Right.
And so I think for appearance sake, as like at least we have somebody who can debate Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I
Like at the
know.
very least, we're probably not likely gonna win, but at least what we have some type of fighting chance now.
Right.
But it was also interesting that Obama took a while to, I don't think, this is speculation based on what I'm seeing, some articles and stuff that I've read, people. It's not my point of view necessarily. But I
Mm-hmm.
found it interesting that some Obama took a couple of days when Obama acknowledged Joe Biden stepping down.
Mm-hmm.
He acknowledged, that the partnership that he had with Biden, and their friendship, and that it was his running mate, obviously the relationship they had, but he didn't say anything about Kamala. He didn't say anything, like he didn't go right away and endorse her in that note. Okay. He eventually did endorse her. So that's like, we don't have to go with that fodder, but a lot of people are talking about the fact that he didn't really acknowledge Kamala in his response to Biden stepping down and endorsing Kamala Harris, right? And so there are people saying that, I don't think everybody knows that, pretty much like you said, Kamala doesn't have a fighting chance.
She really
And
doesn't.
and I think the
Endorsement or not. And to be quite honest, I think that's why Obama's like, oh yeah, let me mention this part. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I think
the
eventually,
enthusiasm wasn't there because he can see that
yeah,
they
yeah,
chose
definitely.
the black woman to stand there and lose.
Yeah, and that's probably right. And so eventually he did eventually endorse her a couple of days later. So whatever, that's done. But I do think that's probably behind the closed doors.
Well, I
What's
think Obama's not stupid, and I think he knows that the race has already been won, seeing that he himself has gone through two presidential campaigns,
Mhm.
and so he knows that by this point, just based off of the numbers, you know, she doesn't have a fighting chance,
Based
and
on the numbers,
so
yeah.
it's like, what is my endorsement really gonna do at this
Yeah, but
point?
he kind of has to
He
endorse her.
he did, and he did.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's not running to it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
that excitement just I don't think is there because he knows that it's a losing game, right? So I don't know, but what I found really interesting is how even with that said, they're attacking this woman. Like, why are we digging up all of this stuff about this woman? Why didn't we dig up all these stuff about this woman in the 4 years that she's been here? Like, I
Oh,
didn't understand that.
she's been getting like little shots, but now she's going to be getting hard hits, body shots, left, right, and center.
But yeah,
Well,
literally, they're clocking how many bodies this woman
yeah,
has.
it
Like,
kind of reminds me, one of the this girl I follow, she's like a big like social media personality and media personality. Her name's Scotty Beam, and she said this, and I think this is really good if you're a black woman listening to this. And I think, yeah, we have to be prepared for more. This is just a start, Kim. So she says, I'm going to just say this now. Black women, no matter what your stance, the type of disrespect we are about to witness may chip away at your spirit. Our
Yeah.
value, our quote unquote value, will definitely be the topic of every discussion.
Yeah.
Please take care of yourself. And that's it. Like that's like we're gonna. I'm ready. Like that's kind of why I want to step away. Like it's hard to step away, but I'm also like, this is gonna get very
Well, I
ugly.
think I need to step away because I feel like this attack on this woman and her personal life, and I just like the things that I'm hearing being said about this woman are just dirty. Just low blow, dirty, like they're clocking her uterus. Oh, that's why she has, like, the type of things that I'm hearing. So I think that's what I might have to do as well. And to be quite honest, it's like I said, a losing game, and we already know who's kind of won this race. So to be quite honest, it doesn't phase me that she's not going to win because I've kind of already accepted that,
Mhm.
and so I need to back away until the actual
It's
voting.
like I'm getting
You
little
know?
glimmers of hope. Like don't get me, I can't, I don't, I hate to say she's not gonna win, but it's not likely. It'd be very hard, let's put it that way. It would be, if it would be a miracle, let's put it that way. But one
Yeah.
of the one of the glimmers of hope are is sorry, excuse me, she was able to raise over 81 million dollars in over 24 hours. So if there's one thing, like I said, that we talked about with Biden stepping down, is that even if like it didn't matter if he stepped down because the scales were already tipped against Democrats
Hmm.
anyway. But now, what this is doing is rallying the Democrats. They are rallying around her, and now they have a lot of energy in their campaign that they didn't have when Biden was when it was Biden. Let's put it that way.
Well, of course they're gonna have more energy because you know
Sleepy Joe is gone.
Sleepy Joe isn't sleeping at the damn mic no more. Like, there's someone who is cognitively present,
Hmm.
and can at least uh what they need her to do can get done. Like, it's not so much, oh well, we have to make him look like he isn't lost his mind or that he's not sick, or you know what I
Hmm.
mean. Like, they can focus more on the actual campaign itself versus how he looks in the campaign. Do you know what I mean? Because I think
Yeah,
that was something that they really had to work on, was either cleaning up after he had, a debate,
like
cleaning up
abysmal
how he
debate.
looked.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, the focus wasn't so much on the campaign and what they can do to make the
Yeah.
American people believe that they're the best option. It was
Nope.
more focused on not making Joe Biden look so bad. Like,
Mm.
that's what it seemed like, that there's a constant cleanup, you know? The PR people were working overtime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're working like 16, 18-hour days kind of thing with Joe.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I do want to say, this is what I'll kind of end with, is that it would be amazing for Kamala to win, but I'm just a realist. However, I think it's always interesting, especially in the US where they have the two-party system there, in that there's two main parties. That's what it comes down to, and they both of the who they have going up ain't great. Yeah, I think everybody can agree on that, right?
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, you know what? The president is just a figurehead.
Pretty
I'm
much.
gonna be honest, especially now in recent modern times.
This is
The
true.
president is just a figurehead for the powers that be behind the scenes that are really controlling decisions.
That's right.
And so it's always, that's why I said it's so interesting where they have such everybody's so separate, and there's like in the US where they have this Dems versus Republic or liberal versus conservative. It's so crazy. It's escalated so much in the last few years. And like, y'all don't know.
Hmm.
It don't matter who's the president. What's gonna happen?
That's the truth.
The
That's the
powers that
truth.
be, the shit that's going to supposed to go down for the powers that be is going to go down, no matter who has that title, no matter what party is in power.
Right.
And
Right.
so,
And I think that the American people who know that,
yes, and some do.
understand what's really happening here, and they'll vote appropriately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think overall, can the U.S. not look like damn fools? Like, I'm just saying. I'm just
Mm.
saying, having Trump there kind of made, in terms of the world,
Yes.
right, made the U.S. look kind of not just dumb, but like weak,
Yeah,
in terms
and
of
they
a
see,
world
and they,
power,
which is
right? So
interesting, right? Because it's like they're like, oh, Biden is like his mind is going, and he's old and weak. And they say Biden looks weak. We don't want a weak president. But
no,
then the Trump is he's mentally weak. He's mentally feeble.
exactly.
He's
But he
meant
can appeal to the people, and so
yes, they think he's strong, but it's like a joke. It's a farce.
yeah, in terms of the world, it's a
Mhm.
farce. And
No.
I think, America needs to get back to a place where they're respected again. And worldwide, they're not. That's just the truth. The truth is that the world is laughing at the US. You
Mm.
know, as sad as that might be, it's the truth. And unfortunately, that type of I don't know, I guess regal position of being the president of the United States is not what it used to be. And people generally, even nationally, maybe not on a world stage, but nationally, are more and more embarrassed by the president that is representing them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know. Either way, with the U.S., I don't want to be pessimistic, but the likelihood of Kamala winning is next to none. In my eyes, I'm sorry, because this is right after they turned Trump into the white Jesus coming to save the world. Okay, like
Mm-hmm.
this is after that. So I don't know. I do hope that there is a little bit of hope, and I
Mm-hmm.
hope that my hope is that they don't slam Kamala too hard.
Mm.
Um, they've already done a good job enough with that, so I think they could move on, and maybe we can get back to some real politics again. You know, actual politics, and not just worrying about Joe Biden falling asleep or saying something stupid at the mic.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I pray for the U.S. and that I don't know that something a miracle comes to play because I don't know. It's very up in the air right now with all that is happening. A lot of this hasn't happened in a very long time. People
Mm-hmm.
dropping out of races, people being shot, shot out during a campaign. Now we have a black woman that's being represented and being ripped to shreds. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. So with the American people, you guys are in my prayers for real, because it does affect us here in Canada. And so, with all that said, we do hope that we're going to wrap up the show. And we do hope that your hearts and minds were activated on this week's show. So, whether you lead with your heart or your mind, please stay active, thoughtful, and passionate. Bye bye.
Bye.